Good afternoon and happy rainy Sunday. It's been raining on and off here in Pennsylvania all morning, actually since yesterday. So today we are going to focus on designer series paper. And the paper that I picked was the Hello Irresistible 6x6 Hey Do designer series paper. It's actually really pretty. I did not get this was an online exclusive, and I did not purchase the stamp set that went with this, but the papers are really very pretty. And I am going to be using the soft sea foam and the soft sea foam designer series paper with all the leaves. Pouring all weekend. Yep. Hey, Sheila. Hey, Kathy. So we are just going to focus on our designer series paper. They're pretty, both cards are pretty similar. I just stepped up the Sunday one just a little bit. And we can get started. The only stamping I'm doing is the sentiment, and I'm using the Go-To Greeting stamp set, which is carrying over into the new catalog. Hey Karen, cloudy and 40. It is 55 here, but it's raining. All right, so we're going to start out with soft sea foam, 11 by 4 1/4. And I am going to use it landscape. That looks like it's off just a little. That's better. Okay. And of course, I'm going to layer it up. And I am going to layer it up with Pretty Peacock. It is back. It's a returning color this year, and it is a color that I really did like. So we're gonna layer it up with, let's see, 5 1/4 by 4, and then DSP 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And all we're gonna do is adhere these together. And I opened up a new glue, so we shouldn't have any trouble. So we're just going to layer this up very simply. All right, so there is that layer. Yeah, I know picking colors is hard. That's a good idea, too. Then you'll have a little bit of everything. I would get more than one, though, just in case. All right, so that layer I just layered right onto the front of the card. So the Pretty Peacock and this doing well. How about yourself? And the soft sea foam go really nice together. It's a nice contrast. All right, so then I took another piece of the soft sea foam, and this is 3 7/8 by 2 5/8, and we're going to pop that up on the front of the card. And then I'm using the reverse side of the designer series paper. Okay, so that's the side I just used. I am just going to use the other side now. And this is 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. And we are going to adhere this to this soft sea foam rectangle. But first, I'm going to stamp the sentiment. All right. So I'm going to use Thank You, and I'm going to use Pretty Peacock. So let's ink this up. It's probably really juicy because it's new. Let's just make sure it's on here straight. And that looks pretty good, I think. Let's just try this again. I just want to make sure I put this sticker on right. Yep. Okay, so we're going to ink this up. Make sure it's inked up, and I am going to put it a little bit more towards the right-hand side. And it's probably crooked. Not too bad. It's off a little bit. And now that that is done, we are going to add some adhesive. And we're going to just layer this up right on the front. Now we can pull our card back in, and we're going to pop this up onto the front of the card. Let me grab some dimensionals. So let's grab some dimensionals. You could just adhere this to the front if you don't want to pop it up. But I figured we'll pop this one up. Give the card a little bit of dimension. All right. You don't think you've ever stamped it? It's, as long as you use a darker color, it really does come out really nice. All right, so now what I want to do is, and I've already done it, but I'll show you exactly what I did. Let's see if I can find another piece of the designer series paper I used. There we go. So I grabbed this designer series paper because it has just about the same colors, and I fussy cut out a double leaf and a triple leaf. Okay, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glue, and I'm going to put one here and grab the other one, add a bit of glue, and I think I'll put it right here. The other side of this is what it looks like. And just so you know, this is in the clearance rack, and it is at a pretty reasonable price. So if DSP is something you're looking for, now would be the time to pick it up, because the retiring products retire on the 2nd. So once they're gone, because the new catalog comes out on the 2nd. All right. So now that I have the leaves there, I am just going to add a little glue dot. And I have some soft seafoam seam binding. And I'm just going to add that bow right there to the corner. So quick and easy. Hey, Rita. 46 and cloudy with rain moving in later today in Kentucky. Yeah, it's 55 here and raining. It's been raining on and off. So quick and easy, right? DSP, one stamp. Now for the inside, I'm going to do the Pretty Peacock, 5 1/4 by 4. Basic white, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then I have a half a piece of Pretty Peacock, and I have a 3/8 of an inch wide designer series paper. And it's going to be the 5 1/8. Let me get that off the floor. 5 1/8 inch long. But I'm just going to adhere these together first and trim it so it comes right to the edge of that basic white. All right, so we're just going to layer this up. This is the easiest way to decorate the inside of your card. So I'm just centering it on that pretty peacock. All right. Now it should be pretty dry. So I'm just going to take it and add some glue right down here along the bottom. And then I'm going to adhere this right to the bottom. Now to make sure it is flush with the end, I'm just going to hold it up and push that piece of designer series paper and cardstock down. So now it's flush with the end. Grab my scissors, or you can do it on your cutter. And we're going to trim that right off. So now it's flush with both ends of your basic white. We're going to grab our pretty peacock again. We're not going to glue it because we don't want to see that glue come through that basic white layer. So we're going to use some seal. And we're going to center this on the pretty peacock. Just like that. Now we can add some glue. I didn't check it. Thank goodness it opens the right way. And we're going to add this right to the center of the card. So there you go. Easy peasy. And you can do this with any, hey, thank you so much. It is a perfect way to use your designer series paper, because I know if you're like me, you have a ton of it. All right, so let's put that aside. Let's step it up a little bit. And like I said, we're going to step it up a little bit. We're going to use the same soft sea foam, 11 by 4 1/4. And this is also scored at 5 1/2. I'm just going to make sure it is laying right. And we are going to do it landscape again. Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Rita. All right. This time, we are going to layer it up with soft sea foam, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Pretty peacock, 5 1/4 by 4. And again, that designer series paper, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And we are going to adhere this to the pretty peacock. Okay, so there is that layer. Give that a second to dry. We're going to add the soft sea foam to our base layer. Making sure we have it on there pretty even. So we have an extra layer. And this time I'm going to take this and pop it up onto the front of the card. And you'll see how just by popping it up, how it changes the look of your card. We'll be able to compare them at the end. All right, so we want to get this centered on that layer. Just looking to see where there it is. All right, so there is the front of our card. Let's put it aside. Now, instead of cutting a rectangle, I actually die cut one of the frames from Scallop Contour dies. This is also carrying over into the new catalog. And this is the frame that measures 3 3/4 by 2.5. I cut a piece of designer series paper, and we are going to again use the opposite side of what we used, and I cut it to fit inside the stitching. Let's just make sure that it does. I want to trim that one end. Give me 1 second. Just trim a hair off because I want it to fit right inside the stitching. I want to be able to see that stitching, okay? But before we do that, let's grab that designer series paper. We're going to grab our pretty peacock, ink up our thank you, and hopefully I'll get this on here straight this time. I see a piece of hair. Let me get that off. Okay. Put it right about there. Much better. At least I didn't rock my block. I usually do that too. All right, so there's our designer series paper. You can see it has a little bit of a design in it. We are now going to adhere it to our frame. And I'm going to add just a little bit of glue. Grab our designer series paper. I'm going to just lay it right inside the stitching. All right. And again, let's pop this up onto the front of our card. Make sure it opens the right way, and it does. We're going to center this right on the front of the card. Hey, Wendy, how are you, honey? When's a good time to call you, Wendy? I'm off camera, sorry. I do that all the time, right, too? All right, so we're going to do the same thing. I cut out some more leaves. And I also, let's see if I have another piece, and I'll show you. I grabbed this piece of designer series paper, and I actually fussy cut one of the smaller flowers, and then I went to another small flower and just fussy cut out the center. So here is the flower, and then I just fussy cut out the center of that flower. All right, so it was another piece of designer series paper. We're going to just head over here to this corner again. And I'm going to save my leaves until we take care of our flower. So we're going to start with our flower, and I want to pop up the center of this flower. That's why I fussy cut that other layer. So we'll have a nice flower that has a little bit of dimension. Let me just get that piece out of there. So now I want to line this up with these inside petals. Make sure I have it correct. All right, so now, okay, so now that flower has a bit of dimension. And I am going to take this flower and we're going to pop it up. So this card is going to need extra postage because I am popping it up. And I'm going to just add 2 dimensionals to hold this in place. Yeah, this is the Hello Irresistible that's retiring, Wendy. And I'm going to take that flower and we are going to add it right here to that corner. Now I'm going to take my leaves, and since we popped that flower up, I'm going to tuck this leaf under here. I'm going to tuck this leaf, and I'm going to go underneath the frame. So there's lots of dimension with this flower. Okay. Yeah, it definitely is a force stamper. Okay, so now this time I'm going to add a bow, I think. Let me just tie one and see. I don't really have enough room on that corner unless I tuck it under that flower. Let's see what we can do. I can make a little one. So I'm going to use the same soft seafoam ribbon. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on the other corner. Let's see how that looks. Oops, wrong scissors. Nope. All right, let's make it a little tinier. So we can, before I set it down anywhere, let's make a little tiny bow. Straighten it out. And we're going to stick it right here where that little flower has a section available. So it's a little tiny flower. A little tiny bow, I should say. And we're going to trim this off. There we go. And then I grabbed some of our iridescent little sparkly pearls. And I'm going to put one in this corner. I'm going to put one in this corner. So it looks like this is what's holding it down to the front of my card. And let's add one more. And we'll put it right there by the flower. Right? Hey, Lisa. How are you, honey? Welcome back. So there is the front. Now for the inside of this one, I did it just a little bit different. I did grab the pretty peacock, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. And then I grabbed my basic white, which is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and I grabbed the die from the scallop contours, and I scalloped the edge. So let's grab some seal, and let's add some seal, because like I said, you don't want to adhere your basic white with liquid glue because it has a tendency to bleed through. You can see it. We're going to just make sure this is centered. Just like that. Again, we stepped it up, but we still kept it simple. right? Doesn't really take too much to step up a card. So there you go. There's one stepped up, and then there is the simple one. And they're both really very pretty. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Lynn. Yep, I'm doing well. Contending with rain. Thanks, Sheila. So I will have, thank you, thank you. I will put the dimensionals on a blog post. I'll probably have them tomorrow morning because I'm getting ready to get everything started for my craft box this month. So, thanks for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day and please stay dry. I think it's supposed to rain for the rest of the day here. Thanks, everybody. All right, Karen, thank you. I'll check it out. And I will talk to everybody later. Have a great rest of the day and thanks for joining. Bye bye.